Welcome back to Living United. My name is Sandra Uni. I'm the Executive Director at the United Way of Brown County area. And I am so happy to be bringing one of my newest friends on board with me today. This is Jim Springer. And we're here to talk about the free tax program that we have. And it is an exciting program. I'm newer with United Way, so I'm learning all these great programs that we have. And I got to visit with, you and I visited a couple months ago,
Correct.
just kind of chatted, and it's amazing all the history that goes into this program. So how long has the program been going on, Jim?
The program has been here in this community for over 20 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been going on a long time. And we do have our one tax preparer that's with us, and that would be Archie Delyden, and he's been with us over 20 years now, 22 years
Oh my
to be
gosh.
exact.
Now, you were telling me, you take it for granted, the technology and where we've come. But tell me, how is it that Archie would do these?
Well, when he started, they did it all on paper, and they used the carbon copies to make the copies of all of the tax papers, so they did it all by paper and by pencil.
Oh my gosh, and so if you made a mistake, you had to,
You had to use the whiteout or erase it.
oh
and,
my gosh,
you know,
how labor intensive was that?
yeah, so they didn't get very many taxes done in a day.
I
you know,
bet
because-
not. No, speaking of that, how many do you get done in a day on an average?
So we, on average, each preparer will do 9 taxes, about nine people's returns. So
On one day?
in one day. And we have 4 preparers that work each day that do the taxes.
Wow, so that's a lot of people coming through here.
So we've done, last year was around 636, I believe, that we did. And so we're hoping to get more each year. Every year we've been gaining on the number of preparers that we're doing.
That's excellent. Now, you've been telling me a lot of the history and the things, how it's all kind of evolved, but how long have you been involved in it?
I've been with the program 8 years now. So I've been the coordinator of the program for 7 years.
Wow, and I tell you, working with Jim has been a dream because he's got everything just down to a system. It's a science. It's, we email back, and it's kind of like we just tag team, and it's been a great way.
So, yeah, and we have a really great crew to work with, really great group that,
Yeah, you sure do, because I was kind of eavesdropping on some of your trainings that one day, and you have a room full of really talented, gifted CPAs.
Yes.
I wonder how many combined years of experience there is in that room.
So we actually have 2 people that were CPAs that retired and went and joined our program.
Amazing.
So they have a lot of information that we can tap into.
That's exciting. That's exciting. So when I first started, I thought, and I was quickly, educated, that I thought it was mostly for retired or, those individuals, but that's not true.
No, it's not true. When I started, we were associated with AARP. And I think that's where it all started, where everybody thought it was just for retired people. We do low to moderate income people, and there's a few taxes that we do not do. For an example, we do not do farm income. We do not do anything with a depreciation schedule. Also, we do not do interest with expenses. So for an example, if you own a second home and you're renting it out and you're depreciating the home, or you're writing off the property taxes on it, we cannot do that.
So you kind of stay away from some of those ins and outs.
Yes.
So what would a really strong person come in, and what would they need to have with them?
So they would need to bring a photo ID for
Okay.
identification. They would need to bring their social security card or any tax information that would have their name and social security number on it. And we prefer them to bring in a copy of their previous year's taxes, just in case we have any questions. And, and then they need to bring all of their tax information. For an example, all their W-2s, 1099s, they might have a brokerage statement. And then we also do property taxes. So we do their CRP rent credits, or we also do their property tax. Now, the property tax first comes out the end of March. So we have 2 days at the end of the tax season that we do just property taxes.
Okay, so and I shared the brochure, I was telling Jim earlier that I shared the brochure with my daughter. She's in her mid-20s. She's going to be calling and making an appointment with you just because she doesn't like to do her taxes. She's always afraid of, doing something incorrectly. So she would like someone to not only prepare them, but also kind of educate her a little bit. Was that something that can be done?
So yes, we can answer a lot of the questions. If we can't answer them, we will find out the correct answer and get back to them. But normally we will do anything from high school kids that have a part-time job after school, all the way up to retired people that just have, that only have their Social Security and probably a rent credit.
That's amazing. I just think it's such a great program. Now, you said over 600 taxes were done last year.
Correct.
Is that the highest number, or is there a number
that's the highest number. So when I started 8 years ago, we were doing approximately 200. So we've been growing the program every year. And even through the COVID period, we actually grew our program.
Yeah, I know. And speaking of COVID, if you have health concerns about coming down here, you guys have the masks, you have the sanitizers, the little glass partitions between the two parties and everything. So you're still adhering to the COVID protocol.
Yes, that's correct.
That's excellent. Because I know there's still a concern, and that's very real concern these days about all of this. So tell me, if I were to want to do this, if I would want my taxes done with the free tax program, what do I do? How do I get in contact with someone?
Okay, so we do have a telephone number. We take all of our appointments, actually. It's only by appointment only. Okay. We do not accept walk-ins unless we would happen to have an opening that day when they would come in. But our phone number would be 507-276-3186.
All right, and they'll speak to Elaine, who
Yes.
happens to be your beautiful bride.
Correct.
Yes, and Elaine will do the scheduling for you. And
Correct.
does she fill you in and answer any quick questions too? Sure?
Yes, sometimes some people will call and they'll have questions, and then she'll give the phone to me, or I will have to call them back, just because some people have questions about their taxes and and Elaine doesn't do the taxes, so she doesn't have all the answers on the top of her head.
What, married to you and not have all those answers? That's amazing. That's amazing. And talking to Elaine is great. When I can't get a hold of Jim, I give Elaine a call, and she'll track him down for me. She's a great lady to talk to. So again, if you need to get your taxes done, and it's a free program. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's an absolutely free program. No hidden costs. You just make your appointment with Elaine, and where do we go? Next question.
So we do these at the New Ulm Public Library in the basement, and we're set up on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do have a few Fridays this year that we're doing them on, and so it's by appointment only, and you just come down, and we do have forms that need to be filled out, and those forms are available at the library, so you can pick those up anytime.
Ahead of time,
or you can come 15 minutes before your appointment and fill them out on that day before your appointment.
Great. So if they came to the library and wanted those forms, could they just go to the circulations desk and get them there?
That's correct. So they just go to the desk upstairs, ask them for them, and they will direct them to where they're at.
Excellent. Now, it's good to know that if you've not ever been to the basement of the library, there is an elevator.
Yes.
So in case you need an elevator, there isn't the worry about getting up and down the steps.
Right. So we are handicap accessible.
Excellent. Well, I can't imagine how you do this year after year after year. You're a numbers person. I'm more of a people person, so I always admire people who get into those numbers. You know, they can crunch those numbers and make things happen. So it's always an exciting thing.
Yes, and that's how I got involved in it. The United Way was sponsoring, and they were looking for expanding the program and getting more tax preparers, and they put an ad in the paper, and I've always done my taxes and my family's taxes, so I've been interested in doing that. So that's how I got involved in it. We do go to training. I'm actually one of the trainers, so I do train. Me and Mary Locher do the training. And so we do that every year. All of our preparers are certified by the IRS, so they all have to pass tests.
So there's some experience in that room.
There is experience in the room, and the tests are not easy. And I think most of the preparers will
Attest to that, huh?
Yes, they will tell you
Do
that.
they have to take that test every year?
Every year you have to take the test, because every year the programs change. The IRS changes the tax laws, Minnesota changes their tax laws, so we have to keep up with that. One more thing, we do e-file all of our taxes if it's possible. We e-file every tax form.
And are there any sponsors with this program?
Yes, there is. So we have the state of Minnesota sponsors us. The United Way, of course, sponsors us. And then we have Franson Bank that sponsors us.
Exactly. So we can't do these things without partners like this. And
Correct.
Working with Franson Bank and then the state has just been, it's a great process.
Yes.
And it's an exciting process to say that we have this in our communities. Now, do you have to be just a New Ulm person?
No, we do anybody within the state. We do not do out-of-state taxes because none of us are trained in the other states.
Right.
But if you're a Minnesota resident, you do not, that's all you have to be. You do not have to be,
And that's
a
good to
resident
know.
of Brown County or New Ulm.
Right, and a lot of times people think that, oh, this is just a local thing, but it's really not. You're state certified, and so say you have a relative who's coming to visit for a week, and they need their taxes done, they bring them on down, get that appointment with Elaine, and you guys can help them out.
Yes, we can.
That's exciting. So just remember, all stages of life, give Elaine a call at 507-276-3186. Jim, thank you so much for chatting with me for a while today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'd love to educate people on the different things that
So,
United Way is doing. So this has been
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.